this week. It started last week. We've been talking about illegal mining and the need to act. And the fact that the time to act was yesterday, but of course we would act today. Because like we say, it's better late than never. And so this morning, here on the Super Morning Show, our regular host, Raymond Akwa, assumes a role of a guest because we're about to talk about...
Is that how you introduce your guest? Yes.
I am telling the people that the regular host, Raymond Akwa, is assumed the role of a guest because we're going to be talking about an initiative which we believe would help shape the discourse and most importantly, change our attitudes when it comes to the environment. We're also joined in studio by Ernest Jachi, who is board chairman, Safari Valley. Good morning, Ernest. Good morning, Raymond.
Good morning, my dear friend.
Good morning, sir.
And thank you all for making time to join us. But let me start off with you, Raymond, and let's do it this way. Why is it important for us today to act against illegal mining?
At least in the last couple of months, we've been told that what we thought was 30 years away from us is happening now. First and foremost, you've heard from the water company telling us that when they spend quality time treating water, 60% of that water is useless. I.e., they are able to only supply 40% of the water. Barely a year ago, it was 50% of the water.
Yes.
And for specific areas, the threat is even bigger. The water bodies that supply water to these, water treatment plants are being heavily polluted by illegal mining to the extent that we cannot do the same treatment we used to do, which means they will spend more in treating our water bodies. More money related to this. We are going to pay more for water because when they increase it, somebody ought to pay for the increased treatment of these water bodies. And again, you won't get water too. So that's the other side. We have not discussed. In 2017, there's a distinguished professor at the nutrition department at the University of Ghana who said people were better off drinking the water through the taps from Ghana Water than bottled water if they wanted minerals.
That was in 2017.
2017. Today, I'm not so sure whether anybody can make a similar conclusion because they are struggling to get the water in a state that you can drink, and they lose more than half of that. So that's one existential threat. On the other hand, we have been told how in cocoa sector and cocoa growing areas, there's a massive reduction in output directly linked to the activities of illegal miners who have not only taken over cocoa farms, who have not deprived us of having, and let's not get it wrong, cocoa is what stabilized this country at all times.
Yes.
We are in September.
Yeah.
Those days you'll be doing a roadshow, getting money for what we call the cocoa syndicated loan.
Yeah.
That cocoa syndicated loan is what supported our currency from this time to the beginning of the year. Before those days, we got Eurobond. We have no access to Eurobond. Our only other support has also been taken off, and you cannot take that connection away from illegal mining. But you presume that you are a very rich man who is not affected by our economy, and that you don't need water or import water and drink for yourself. How about the bushmeat? We all know that for proper people in this republic who enjoy their fufu or all the other things they want to consume, you can't dismiss bushmeat. There's no guarantee that that bushmeat you are consuming, that particular food or meat they are consuming, has not been consuming mercury that's been in the system and it's affecting your health. Talk vegetation. The food you are eating today, you have no guarantee. You pretend that your salad is not from any of the ones they use gutter water to clean, so it's from the hinterlands. Those places they are doing galamsey. It is absorbing, your salad is absorbing all the mercury from the soil, which means that you are being polluted indirectly. So you are also not safe on that level. You cannot avoid the impact of illegal mining now. First, it looked like very far from us. Now, if you live in Cantonments or you live in McCarthy Hill or you live in Dome, you're all affected the same way like the guy who's at Samankesi or any of the other areas that they are doing massive destruction of our water bodies and our rivers. More importantly, they are doing it at a brazen level. People do crime in this country. This is not the first time they're doing crime. They hide crime. But I have not seen people openly displaying the money they have gotten from illegal mining. Now, to the extent that they are sharing and wasting, we know how social media work, and boosting videos. It's okay that it's not okay that they are just sharing, but they are boosting the videos to get larger audience, to the fact that come and join us doing illegal mining. Call this number if you want to join illegal mining, and that video is being shared and posted to everybody on social media. Who are they targeting? Who is the social media population?
So
it's the younger people in this country. So the existential threat is here, live and present. My last comment on that, Winston, will be, we all thought that when we try and say we have ended Galamsey, next week the waters will be clear, we move on in our lives. We were just told yesterday that it might take up to 5 years to get the mercury we have deposited into our water bodies out. 5 good years.
For mercury is actually 1,000 years.
Can you believe that? So imagine, you think about it, getting in a cleaner state.
Yeah.
That one compared to the deposits in the land and the soil, that will take a longer time. So already the damage is here, and action is required now. But I talk about those videos being shared on social media. Young people are going to see, like the way for some time we have seen some groupings as the rich people that we look up to. Young people going into the future are going to see these operators as their role models, the rich people that they want to be to. We have lost the war if we allow that happen. That's why I need to catch them young.
Let's look at our attempts, because in the past we've tried to solve this. Why have we failed? What attempts have we made in the past, and why have we failed before we get to the importance of this initiative?
So we know that governments come in and also deploy the military sometimes. In 2017, for example, we all declared that we were starting a new war. I remember under John Peter Amewu, they banned small-scale mining. They deployed Vanguard, first one, Operation Vanguard, military on the ground. But we were deploying the stick at the time. We were making sure we use the force of arms, brute force, to get people out of the pits, because we felt we needed to do that at the time. We did that. Subsequently, we said we're going to also do other things like deploy drones to monitor the place and also make sure that other operations are done. When it was becoming, we formed an interministerial committee which deployed the first halt. Then we have deployed another halt. All military programs. But these ones, Winston, we are trying to close those doors when the horses are already out there. Why don't we target now? Because that process is still happening. In fact, we cannot deploy the military. It's government that deploys military.
Yeah.
But we can target younger people and let them know that this is not the way to live. That living in a Galamsey infested area where your water bodies are polluted, where the lands are destroyed, where there's no meaningful way of living your life, where there's higher inflation. Let's not get it wrong. There's higher inflation because they are getting cheap money. They are using that cheap money to increase the inflation in your area so that you, who is not engaged in Galamsey, you suffer before you compete with them at every level. We can live a life with serene environment, with proper vegetation, with good fauna, and the flora is working properly, and it helps your health, and we can all live older and have the quality of life that we all deserve as a people, as is happening elsewhere. So that is what we need to show that younger generation, the Gen Z coming down.
We'll get into detail about what we need to show the younger generation, but that's what we've termed as the Joy FM Safari Valley Eco Initiative.
That's true.
And tell us more about that. I mean, why this initiative?
Permit me to say good morning to our ambassadors, who I term those who have already visited Safari Eco Park. And then again, I always, second time I've been on your show, it's almost a year. I would like to say a good morning, a big good morning to the millions of listeners of Multimedia who yet haven't been to Safari Eco Park. In the last few months or so, listening to your reportage, especially the multimedia networks, we have heard from a lot of experts, intellectuals, speaking on this subject of illegal mining. I, as a listener, felt the frustration of all commentators. It's almost spelling doom where we are now. So it got to where Multimedia, being partners of Safari Eco Park, had a conversation. We thought, what within us can we do to also help the situation? Almost every expert that's spoken, I've heard, have deemed that we have failed. We are in a failed situation. To get out of that may not be that easy. So, being part of the Safari Group and Safari Eco Park, we sit in a forest, which is just over 600 acres. We've gone into the forest and added value to the forest. What we are saying is, how can we look at Galamsey sites where the environment is totally being degraded, mercury and all sorts of stuff? You are now hearing that our water, as Raymond just mentioned. So we are saying, okay, let's go to the schools. Let's start from our children, from the ages of 6 going all the way to tertiary institutions. Let's have a program where, with your help, we hope that every single child in the country would visit Safari Eco Park. Now, when we say visit Safari Eco Park, why? Because we want to showcase how man can live with nature without destroying it. First of all, the program quickly put together, because we want to start it now. When we get them over, there will be a 30-minute talk given to the kids or university students on conservation, on environmental degradation, climate change, etc. They will take a tour of the resort where you'd see animals, you see water bodies that's been created, you see our recreational center, you see our farms. And also, a lot of times you hear the word sustainability.
Yeah.
When you come to the Eco Park, what you'd also experience is the fact that nothing goes to waste. Our food waste is processed to feed the animals. Right. We have created a huge water body which attracts birds in the neighboring areas to come and drink from it. We have fishes in there, aquatic life, which we can also... So basically, just to teach these young ones that we do not necessarily have to destroy ourselves, i.e. Galamsey. You can, it's luxury in the forest, right? You rather add value, and then you have your plantain growing nicely. We have over 2,000 fruit trees. Guava, for instance, soursop, some that when you come in the cities are going extinct. All that is available at the Eco Resort. The whole from when they get there till they leave, and which a lot of people who have already visited will bear witness to it. You'd see, wow, how was this done? We believe that we need to conscientize these young ones so that in the next, it's not going to be a short-term thing. It will be a long-term thing. But 10 years will come in no time. 5 years will come in no time. They will be in leadership positions and hopefully take better decisions than we have.
Okay. Raymond, I mean, Ernest has talked about the whole idea behind it, but why is this initiative, which is aimed at environmental sustainability and nurturing young eco-talent?
First and foremost, every society that has fixed the problem permanently makes sure that the solution was properly layered, and that if you touch the hearts and minds of people, you get them to change their attitude rather than deal with the problem when they are engaged in there. So young people, they have an idealism that most of us have lost. When properly educated, and you remember, those days when we were young. There were groups like Wildlife. I was very active in Friends of the Earth, even at the university level. But of course, I did not see those groups actively doing the things that they're supposed to be doing even today. We need to let the people understand, fight Galamsey on different levels.
Yes.
We need to not only be fighting Galamsey on the ground with those who are heavily involved. We need to be fighting it in the classrooms, where the kids are now having to decide whether or not to support environmental sustainability issues or forgo it, or have no idea what it's about in the first place. The ordinary child in East Legon today lives in a 3-bedroom house or 4, so with very little plants around the homes and all of that. It will be difficult to convince that child that forests are important, so the degradation will not matter to them. We need to take them to those areas where they see that their lives are inextricably intertwined with those forests, with the water bodies, with the flora and the fauna, in such a way that they can be the ones fighting those engaged in it. They can be telling governments, not now, in the future or whichever time possible, that it is possible to actually protect the environment and still grow sustainably. In any case, the world today, we are talking about a green economy, right? Everywhere, that's the conversation today. Now, it will be almost unreasonable for us as a people to be discussing green economy at the top with the university students, when the people have already formed their ideas, when they have already engaged Galamseyers, when they have felt the monetary gains from Galamsey is the only thing they should be concerned about. And we need to put proper nationalism into our people, right from the basics. It's the reason why when you catch them young, and we know it works, I can give you different intellectually based research work that supports learning through experience, experiential learning, where when the people do not only sit in classroom, they are showing pictures. When they go to the ground and see what is happening, how that can be possible, what quality of air looks like, which is not what they are getting where they live currently, then they can actually think about protecting it and think about living life with it and not without it. Okay. I hope you get the point.
I get it. So we know that ordinarily if I come in there, I'm expected to make payment. Under this initiative, what happens?
Under this initiative, Safari, Eco Park, and Multimedia have come together to say to corporate bodies, civil society groups, religious institutions, individuals, even the minors, we don't have a prejudice. Sankofa Yenchi. They should sponsor schools, sponsor children. You can sponsor one child just to come have the experience. That child will not be left alone. We are going to follow their development throughout their young and early years, sending information on climate change, environmental degradation to all levels so that we conscientize them. So, for instance, we have come in with saying we are ready to take a hit. So from 120 Ghana cedis, you can actually sponsor a child. The child will come, they will acquire some knowledge. As Raymond mentioned, it's not just sitting in a classroom and reading stuff. They would see for themselves what this really means. They will have a tour of the place. We'll give them a 30-minute lecture on conservation and the environmental degradation, climate change, and all that. We have a huge recreation area where they can also have fun and also be fed, have a snack for 120 Ghana cedis only. So, I mean, for all the corporate bodies, miners, you name it, church groups, mosques, or all of us have to come in together so that we can sponsor our children so that Ghana's tomorrow will not be what it is today. It is sad. It is sad where we have gotten to. And the only way, reverse behavior. Let's go back to the classrooms. Let us bring these children out. Let them see the alternate way of land use.
People's greed.
Yes.
And that's why we have to prevent that.
And we have to reverse the trend.
Exactly.
Yes, reverse behavior.
So this morning, exactly. And so, Raymond, this morning, we've been talking about the Multimedia Group and Safari Valley Eco Park Environmental Sustainability Initiative aimed at nurturing young eco champions in Ghana. And you, as coordinator of the program, we're in studio with Ernest Jeche, who is board chairman of Safari Valley. You have a problem? So let's get back to it again. So, I mean, for that person who may have just joined us, Raymond,
yes,
what are we saying about this program, and why is it necessary that we have this program?
First and foremost, we believe that we here in the last couple of months, in fact, for a very long time, let's not get it wrong, we have highlighted the wanton destruction, brazen abuse of our environment at different levels. As for illegal mining, we have spent months and years not only following but bringing you the reality on the ground. Sometimes to the chagrin of those in authority who believe that we are exposing too much. But we have been consistent with that. We have also realized that perhaps the firefighting approach is not the only way to deal with the problem. And I know that sometimes they access what are people also doing about it.
Of course.
So we are engaging another environmentally conscious institution, that's Safari Valley. And if you have been there, the first time I went to Safari Valley, I wrote an article on putting luxury and sustainability in the same box in perhaps the most meaningful way I've not seen happen in that part of the world before. But yes, that's what I talked about. So we are partnering to make sure that we catch them young. The young people who are now being targeted and recruited. See, if there are no fresh recruits into illegal mining, it will die off.
Of course.
Because they need people to do that. They are not running with robots.
Yeah.
They need people, especially young people, and you see them. They need them to be the ones actively digging. They need them to be the ones actively doing all the other activities connected to that. So young people have been recruited to destroy our environment. We need to use the same set of young people to fight it in a more meaningful way, so that in the future, we do not have as the role models of this country illegal miners, but rather people who are environmentally mindful and minded, people who understand that this country cannot exist without its vegetation.
Okay.
Let's not get it wrong. This is the country that had the title. In fact, in Kumasi was called the Garden City of West Africa.
Yeah, true.
It's because environment matters, and one cannot live without the plants and the things that we see. So those people ought to be educated. It's the reason why we are targeting them. And ordinarily, if you have been there, for what it offers, even the amount they are charging, mostly I think that they have subsidized it on their own, because there's a lot of greatness to see at Aqua Safari, at Safari Valley. For many of us who go there and who actually experience the day service there, you'll be thrilled to know that Safari Valley has agreed to slash that cost to make sure that a young child coming from an area where illegal mining is endemic sees there is future in a different environment. So that the person can learn from that environment, so that they are not just told that don't doing illegal mining is good or don't destroy the environment. We show them an environment which is not destroyed and how that promotes their lives better.
So you've talked about how they've slashed it, huge discount.
Yes.
About 50% discount.
Yes.
But there's another bit. The fact that you, Raymond Aqua, can actually adopt a school and sponsor them. Tell me about that.
So I believe that nobody should be doing galamsey in the Eastern region, in the Ashanti region. So what I can do today is sponsor. It could be my old school, or it could be an area where the kids, all that they know is the illegal mining menace happening close to them. Close to some of these schools, some of these students are recruited to go there. You go and pick up those kids, give them a day at Safari Valley, show them that it's possible to have human beings coexist with plants and other animals in an environment with water bodies that are not polluted. Show them the impact of those things on their lives and why they should be agents for change in the future. So that's what the environment's about. People like myself, and you are richer than me for the avoidance of doubt, you can sponsor more. In fact, I know that I can take on 4 schools, 3 classes, Get these kids to travel from whichever community, be it in Impoho or somewhere in the eastern region or any of these Galamsey ravaged areas. And we are stressing that our focus is not only Galamsey ravaged areas, but we are stressing that because it is the fierce agency of now. That is where the massive devastation is happening. And that's also where we should be fighting the minds and hearts of the people and getting them to turn against the worst form of degradation we can do to ourselves. I hope you get that.
Yeah.
So we will teach the kids out of the environment where they think Galamsey is the only way out, and show them it is possible to have an environment which is not polluted. That impact and why they should be, you can call them champions, you can call them warriors, you can call them ambassadors of a future that is green, a future that's sustainable, a future that guarantees that we all can live on and that they will not be extinct. The grouping that they are living there. Those conversations cannot be done in a vacuum. They can only not watch pictures and be okay with it. Those times of teaching, it is 14th century. Now kids see, participate in the activities and are happy and they learn from it. That is what this is about. So I can sponsor schools. You are also welcome to sponsor 4 schools. Others can even choose not an entire school, a class or a club within the school, a club that's conscious, or it could be the prize for your best students. For academic performance, it's not always that we just give them a couple of things and give them some money as a reward. Take those kids as ambassadors because already they have shown leadership in learning, they have shown leadership in their classrooms, and take them to a place like Safari Valley. Let them learn how to protect the environment, how to fight illegal mining, how to understand that there is something beyond illegal mining that can sustain the state. That is what we are talking about. And I know so many people in banks today, and I know so many people who are already conscious environmentally. And again, I mean, if you're a corporate institution, sometimes you think that you don't know what to do again. This is a perfect way of giving back to society. This is a perfect way of letting people know that you're also part of this fight, without necessarily coming to issue statements and pretending that you are part of the fight. This is a real action on the ground that will impact lives, that will change the nations. And I'm sure when the history is being written, that those who change the course of our fight against illegal mining, your name will be written in gold in those records.
Great. So I'm sure at this point we can launch it. Chairman, you can declare the initiative duly launched, and then we'll go ahead with the adoption system.
Well, so NSGC, I went to St. John's Grammar School, not too far from here in Achimota. I am sponsoring 100 students, 50 from St. John's Grammar immediately, and 50 from the Amenfi West District, where I've taught recently and seen by my own eyes the environmental degradation. Where I'm yet to know the school that I'm going to sponsor. So it is open to first you gentlemen to also throw in, put your money where your mouth is, and then we invite all corporate institutions, the diplomatic corps, the UN agencies, religious groups, any sort of group. I mean, you can sponsor from 1 child to 1,000 children. It is the only way. And we have boldly, with Multimedia, slashed the cost by 50%.
Great.
For basic school children, it is 150 Ghana cedis. That gives them the whole tour, recreation, and a snack.
Okay.
When I say the whole tour, when they arrive at Safari Valley, there will be a 30-minute orientation talk, basically on conservation, on environment and that. Then they would see all sorts of animals, from the silky chicks, which you joke about, to the Patagonian maras, which is difficult to pronounce on your show, to the zebras, wildebeest, wallabies, llamas. I mean, it is all in this one place where we are saying that man can live with animals and plants in harmony without destroying it. And we've got apprenticeship working in our welding department, our furniture department, our nutrition department. So by the time they have done the tour of the place, there's a lot. As Raymond said, it cannot just be from the classroom. Their experience will live with them forever. And it is the only way within our rights that we can help in solving this.
Great. So 50% discount.
50% discount.
As part of this initiative, which has been duly launched. Yes. Raymond.
150 per head.
Yes, 150 per head. And that's
adults, secondary school and tertiary students, 320.
Yeah.
Children to basic schools, 150.
Great. Very, very important. And so, look, we're calling on all of you. All of us have a role to play. Raymond has set the tone nicely. He's told you that you may think it's far away from you. But hey, the bushmeat that you consume that are so proud of because you think it's healthy could be contaminated. Okay? And so it's very, very important that you all join in making sure that we train environmental sustainability, young ones who are very much concerned about the environment, young ones who are actually prepared to take up this fight against illegal mining. And Raymond, I'm sure you put out some numbers out. Yeah.
So call these numbers: 0596 914 390, 0596 914 390, or 0243 200 282, 0243 200 282. There's a mobile money number too. So see, this is the Momo number: 055 878 1660, 055 878 1660, 055 878 1660. Because it's Momo number, you have to get it right. So let me say it for the last time: 055 878 1660. Now the bank account details, it's also, the name is Safari Ecological Park Limited. The account number is 20-911-8000-2136, and the branch is Ekropon. So the account number again is 20-911-8000-2136. Of course, I mean, we've said it here. It's for basic schools, 150 CD per child. You are now a man of wealth. You have lived well for yourself. You have not given anything back to your old school. You have not given anything back to your community. This is a perfect time to leave an indelible mark on the minds and hearts of the people who will run the future of this country. 150 per person. Now 150 doesn't buy
so 100
cake like one pack.
No, 100 is what, 15,000.
Yeah, 15,000.
That's not much money.
Yeah,
that's something you can afford easily.
Yes.
Mr. David Max Fuga.
Yes,
has been telling me that he wants to sponsor his old school.
Yes, he has
Max,
made a commitment.
Please make the announcement. Make the announcement. In the
Yeah.
You want to sponsor? Max, make the announcement. You want to sponsor your old school?
Yeah.
I am prepared to sponsor. 100 students from the Mpoho district.
Okay, 100.
100, yes.
That's powerful.
100 students.
We are exceedingly excited by this your commitment.
Yeah.
100.
Who shall be taken on the 16th of November? That's my birthday.
That's your birthday?
Yes, it's a Saturday.
That's another very sensible project. So instead of always buying very expensive drinks and sharing with your friends, how about on your birthday, say that you are sponsoring kids to have this experience and learn, so that they can conserve our environment going into the future. So that when you are old and seated there somewhere where your breathing is challenged, where your health is quite failing, you have an environment that can sustain you.
Yeah.
You think about it, even from your personal parochial point of view. It will be wonderful to know. I'm sure many of you will also be reaching out to us on the alternative numbers available. If you don't join this one, I don't know which other one you would want to join.
So, I mean, in wrapping up, let me start off with Ernest Jechi, who is board chairman of Safari Valley. What would you say finally as your closing comments?
My closing comments, this is a pilgrimage for every young Ghanaian. And we believe that in a little way that we've started, we would change by conscientizing them by visiting the Eco Park.
Raymond, finally.
Yes, the rallying call has been sound. All well-meaning Ghanaians know this is a project to support. This is a project that is costing the people involved. And if you have been to Safari Valley before, you know this is almost like giving it for you for free. That experience and the learning that you actually get from that stays with you for the rest of your life. Is the reason why, even if you don't care about the environment, you just pretend that they have slashed it. Come and see, and I'm sure you'll change your mind. I'm sure you have a renewed heart about fighting this illegal mining problem, which, from all indications, you'll be fighting for a while.
Great. So, folks, you know what to do. I mean, let all of us come together and support this. Raymond, put out the numbers again. It's very, very important. But you said you should also adopt a school, Mr. Fuga.
Yes. I made the commitment that there is a place in the eastern region where Galamsey is massive. Erastus talking about the area. There's a water body there that I have to get the exact name. I am interested in getting at least 2 classrooms beyond the best students in the class. 2 classrooms on my account, having the experience. I actually believe that they would have the greater impact that I want them to feel on the grounds, because I want them to be champions fighting Galamsey at that local level. Great. Telling their parents, their uncles, and their brothers that that's not the best way to go if you want to protect their future.
Great. Mr. Fuga, please announce yours too in the microphone. Now you are pushing others to announce. Mr. Fuga, announce.
Winston, may I announce also that the CEO of Safari Valley, Samuel Afari,
yes,
he went to Hanson Road, I think SDA school, around the Ayalolo area.
Yeah.
He
but most they call it Ayalolo, is it D or BA?
Wait.
Yes.
So he is sponsoring up to 50,000 Ghana cedis.
Wow.
However many children that would bring to the Eco Resort, Safari Eco Park.
Ayalolo SDA.
Yes, Ayalolo SDA.